Joining me now are two young professionals working to raise awareness about climate change. Majid Nuaimi is the head of strategy and business development at BIA, the Middle East's fastest growing environmental management company. And Maayan Berkovits is a climate activist and the spokeswoman for the climate team at Green Course, the largest environmental volunteer organization in Israel. Welcome to you both. It's sort of a historic meeting. I love having, chats between my friends on all sides of the Middle East. But let me start out with you, Maayan. I just want to read for my audience what your organization, Green Course, has done. It's fairly phenomenal. The promotion of the Israeli Clean Air Act, the law of polluter pays, promotion of the Coastline of Israel Act, the deposit law for recycling of bottles, on and on and on, various initiatives that your group has helped lead, and you've gotten political change in Israel. So I think many people want to sign up for how we can all learn how to get political change in Israel. But tell us a little bit about what motivated you and what had been the kind of secret sauce of Green Course's success.
Well, I can speak for myself when I say that the climate change problem in general was very close to heart because I'm a professional tour guide in my everyday job. So I'm very close to nature, and I've witnessed firsthand a lot of the things that are happening. Working there for like 5 years, almost 5 years already, outside, outdoors every day, I can see already the effects of climate change on our nature, specifically in Israel and also in the Mediterranean area in general. So that's about me and my connection to this movement in general. So when I joined Green Course, I joined that particular group because I saw how it had its hand in everything that happens regarding the climate change movement in general in Israel. And I think the reason this organization has been so successful is because it has its hands both on the education side of it and trying to bring the real, most accurate information to the people, but also have a great connection to the government and to the Knesset with our activists trying to do as much as they can to persuade politicians to be on our side.
Now, just before I jump to Majid, I think today there's an election in Israel, is there not?
Yeah, it is. We're still waiting on that.
So my question is, I know this is non-scientific, but when it comes to an election, how big a priority is environmental sustainability on the minds politically inside Israel? Is it off the radar screen, or is it something people care about?
Well, it's funny you should ask because unfortunately it has not been in the forefront of our entire political system at all. There's been a big environmental sort of movement towards this particular election, trying to bring it to the forefront, talking to the politicians, being as involved as possible with every different group going to this election, trying to get them to talk about the environment and the climate change issue. But I have to say that so far in Israel, we were facing so many different problems in all kinds of areas revolving our everyday life. So it has not yet been in the forefront as it should have been. And unfortunately, most politicians are not as aware to how life-threatening this is to all of us, specifically in our region, which is so dry to begin with. And we're expecting to have a very unfortunate and strong effect on our entire ecosystem very soon.
Thank you. Majid, your company may be the most important company I had never heard of until just a short while ago. I mean, I think, it's interesting to me to look at what you're doing as a company, kind of looking at the whole cycle of integrated waste management, renewable energy, public cleansing, the whole dimension of that and creating that. You've already got the politics in the right place as best I can tell. But in terms of making something that is an integrated ecosystem of conservation and sustainability that is climate positive as opposed to climate negative. I know that you're head of strategy and business development. Tell us a little bit about it. And is it taking hold? Because again, I'm not interested in boutiques. I'm interested in things that can be scaled or copied. And is your sense that what you're doing, which I know is a business, can be scaled and copied by others?
First of all, thank you for having me, Steve, and a very good evening from the United Arab Emirates to all of you and the viewers. As you said, BIA is an innovation leader and the pioneering force for sustainable solutions in the Middle East. You know, it was formed as a public-private partnership company in 2007. We are based in the Emirate of Sharjah, one of the emirates in the United Arab Emirates, which is known as the cultural capital. Our mission at BIA is to create sustainable quality of life for cities in the MENA region. And BIA has a lot of different ventures and industries that include integrated waste management, as you stated, research and innovation, renewable energy, sustainable transport, technology, and healthcare. You know, and at BIA, we believe the biggest opportunity is to blend sustainability and digitalization to promote a sustainable quality of life. We leverage innovative technology for sustainable resource and waste management, helping to keep all products and materials in use to create positive economic and environmental and societal impact. You know, for example, we launched, let's say, Waste Pro Plus, which is a digital solution that streamlines all aspects of waste management from collection to disposal. The data that we collect from our operations are used to inform operational efficiency and manage our resources better as well. You know, our fleet of vehicles also have automated route optimization, reducing the amount of time our vehicles need to spend on roads and improving our carbon footprint. We also are the first company in the Middle East to have placed an order for 50 Tesla semis, which are the electric trucks, and we will be using for long-haul waste transfers.
Well, thank you. One of the things to both of you that got me into this topic is I'm really interested in changing attitudes among the youth in the Arab world. And there's a study called the BCW study. It was really the basis of why I wanted to do this series. And what you see when you talk to young men and young women, this study talked to thousands of people, 50% men, 50% across the whole Middle East, North Africa region, is that climate really matters, technology matters, jobs matters. They don't like corruption. They're pro-faith, but don't kind of constrict, you know, choices, make them broader. In that arena of what youth want, Maayan and then Majid, you know, do you find this is something that is getting sticky with the youth, where that demand function is going to climb up? Maybe it's already in a good place in the UAE, but I'm just interested in how the youth see themselves as stakeholders in what is evolving in the region.
Me first?
Yes, Maayan.
Well, this is actually a really good question, because I think I can only speak for Israel, but our youth and my age and below are the ones completely pushing forward the entire operation and the whole protest. Everything that has been done for the last few years has had major backing of the youth movement. Even when we started going to the politicians one by one, the people who were in the forefront of that were the young people. We are having a very difficult position in Israel, where we're basically going in the wrong direction in our entire government, actions towards this particular problem. So we're still going towards fossil fuels in most of our plans for the future, and we're going for natural gas as our main outsource, instead of going towards a green, sustainable future of green energy. So the people who are in the forefront of trying to convince politicians to change policies are youth movements, mostly. That is very interesting to see as a trend in Israel. It comes from the people up.
Interesting. Majid, your thoughts on that?
First of all, thank you for the question, Steve. You know, environmental protection has been at the forefront of our nation, priorities, and it's a very integral part of our cultural heritage. We're lucky enough to see these, environmental programs promoted by companies in the UAE, such as BIA, Masdar, a lot of different companies that we have over here, and especially housed by, cascaded from the Prime Minister's office down to universities as well. So I think, as you said, the ground stone is there, and we've seen a lot and huge, impact that has been developed by the leadership, cascaded down to the youth, and we've seen a lot of youth advocates in the United Arab Emirates, taking climate change, environmental studies at the forefront of their studies and their daily lives. I see it happening every day. I'm proud of the youth that we have here who are very aware of the effects, of pollution, of recyclables, and it's just increasing. We're taking it step by step, and we have as we say, the infrastructure for it, and we're just taking it forward step by step, hopefully.
Majid, just real quick, is sustainability profitable? I mean, how do I put that? Is sustainability profitable enough to be sustainable?
I would like to extend an invitation to you to come to our waste management complex in Saj'a, in Sharjah. And when I entered the field of BIA, I did not expect sustainability to be profitable. But when you invest in sustainability and you have the technology to take all that residue and create recyclables, we started trading in plastic, carton, metals, and different types of recyclables and material. It does to an endpoint become profitable and sustainable as well. We created a circular economy here in the United Arab Emirates, in specifically in BIA, where we deplete all the resources from the waste that we receive at our landfill, and then we start recycling it and we sell it. And one of our biggest examples is that we're opening our the first waste to energy plant in the region in Sharjah, and we plan to close our landfill hopefully by the end of 2021. And I think that's one of the biggest milestones that we're achieving here in the United Arab Emirates, to be the first in the region. And we're gonna hopefully cap our landfill, diversify our sources of renewable energy, and I think it's a great step forward, hopefully.
Well, let me just ask just very quickly, Maayan and Majid, we have a question here from Ted Spickler. He's a volunteer at the Citizens Climate Lobby, and he writes, what assistance do Middle Eastern countries need from the United States? I'm going to modify that and say, just really quickly, what might you need from the United States? But then I'd say, what technology? I was just using Waymo to get here today, which is an Israeli, Tel Aviv company. I mean, there's so many great innovations. What innovations do you have? Do you think we might want to take over here? But Maayan, your quick thoughts, and then we'll go to Majid and we'll wrap up. Thank you.
Well, I think that what Israel needs, I'll answer both. What Israel needs most from the U.S. is basically to help us back the right horse, because at the moment, the U.S. is backing Israel's transition towards fossil fuel gas, and trying to be a crossroad for oil and gas towards Europe. And at the moment, it gives us a lot of legitimacy to go through that path and not pursue more sustainable energies. So that is something we need from you to take action and be on the right side of history with us. Secondly, the thing we can contribute to other people is that Israel has always been in the forefront of technology in many, many different places and in high tech. So I guess the minute we put our best people on it, and at the moment we are trying to make progress when it comes to batteries and storing of energy made by solar systems. So the minute we'll be done with that, and at the moment there is progress being done in that area, I assume that's something we could export to the world.
Majid, your quick thoughts?
So I would say, thankfully, due to leadership that we have at our company at BIA, we recently exported the model that we have here to Saudi Arabia, Medina, and we are creating another BIA over there. By the way, BIA means environment. And we also are operating, hopefully, in the new administrative capital of Cairo. Our model proved to be successful. The technology that we use at our landfills and the route optimizations that we use for waste management is very, promising. So I think maybe we can try to share the knowledge that we have in terms of what we're doing over here in the Middle East. But just to answer your first question as well, I think sustainability and looking at the future is something that always requires a collective action. Always a helping hand is something that we will take and we'll never say no to.
Well, listen, I want to thank you both. It's been a really high-quality, interesting conversation. We should continue it sometime. But Maayan Berkovits, climate activist, Green Course in Israel, and Majid Al-Nuaimi, head of business strategy and business for BIA in Sharjah, United Arab Emirates. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you.
you.